Vegeta, hey, what's wrong? Don't let him win, Vegeta! Don't let him do it! That's it! Fight! Fight it! What a monstrous power! It's terrible! I can't even approach it!
So let's take a look at this bad boy, S.H.Figuarts Majin Vegeta. At first glance, I'm really liking this figure, but let's take a closer look, starting with the head. Paint applications on the face look really good. I didn't see any problems with mine, and he does come with interchangeable faces, and they all look just as good. The logo he has stamped on his forehead looks really good, and the paint applications in the hair look great, as well as in the ears. And when I say hair paint, I mean the one that's actually on the interchangeable face. The rest of the hair is just one solid color. There's no shading or anything. That's just shadows coming off my lights. And there is actually some lines you could see from the molding process and some rough spots, which is unfortunate. And that makes the swappable face really stand out from the actual head itself, which kind of sucky. With the exposed chest area, it is all one solid blue mold, and they just painted over it. You can kind of see blue through it and a little speckling. Not very good. So Majin Vegeta is a little more intense version of a regular Super Saiyan Vegeta. In the comics and anime, they gave him a lot more veins all over his body. They gave him a little bit here on his arms, but they're so minute, and my camera almost doesn't pick most of them up unless you get the right angle. I do like that they added veins to his arms. I wish it would have been a little bit more, maybe more randomized. It's just kind of identical from right arm to left, but I guess I just could be me being picky about it. They do look alright. For his jumpsuit, it does look really good. They added details for his muscle definition and wrinkles for, you know, little pockets of where it's kind of loose on the skin or very tight. It looks good. I have no complaints about it. The colors are all there. It's very basic. The only really thing they could do is add the wrinkles, which they did a good job. So this is my first encounter of the new crotch. Yes, the new crotch. It is a little busy down there. Let's take a little closer look. It's 3 pieces now instead of 1. They did it so there can be more articulation in the figure. So it's kind of function over form here. I'm not digging it, but hey, if I can do some high kicks and some wide angles with those legs, I guess that's a good thing. So moving on to those thighs. I never really had a problem with Figuarts' thighs and legs. They usually do a good job of hiding the joints like do here. I'm okay with those knee joints. You get a good range of motion out of them, and they don't look bad. They got a nice little kneecap on them. Yeah, and this one's a stunner here, so it's good stuff. For the boots, they did add a lot of detail to a thing that doesn't have too much. You can see kind of like the bolt in there. You got a little joint on the toe. But yeah, you got lines on the boots. It looks good. I like it. Let's zoom out and take a look at the overall figure. Taking a step back, yeah, all my complaints aside, I really do like this figure. He is actually my favorite DBZ fighter, and hopefully he's yours too. But yeah, I've been waiting for a Majin Vegeta by Figuarts for a while. Alright, let's check out what this guy can do, movement-wise, starting with those arms. So we do get a nice little angled wingspan, although he can't go straight on if we flip those arms around. They do swivel all the way around, like so, at the shoulders. And they'll go straight up, only hindered by his jumpsuit. So also at the shoulders, he does have a butterfly joint. It's not much, but it gives a little bit of range of motion, a little extra. I did find that in the crack of it, you could kind of see there's a little mess up, but it's not that bad. It kind of gets hidden in there anyways. Moving back to the arms, they do swivel at the bicep all the way around, like so. Groovy. And at the elbow, it does bend at a double jointed elbow, but there's no point, which kind of bugs me. It's a little too flat for me. But, it works. It just doesn't look like an elbow. At the wrist, it does swivel all the way around. They are removable, and they got a little back and forth motion. Not much, just kind of hindered by the cuff. So the chest area does swivel side to side a little bit. There it is. Nothing too fancy, but it's there. It does swivel backwards, like so. Also not that much, but it's there. It's always nice to have a little stomach joint when you can. Going back up to the head, it does spin all the way around at the neck. It does look up and down a little bit. Down right there, and then up. Let's see it. Beautiful. It's nothing much, but you know, its hair is kind of stopping it. And back down to the waist. It does swivel all the way around at the hips. Moving on to the crotch area, you get a nice little spread leg action with that new crotch joint. And the upper thigh moves quite freely on the leg. Looks good. His knee actually has a little point to it, which is nice, nicer than the elbows, and it looks good. And it bends well. His boot, he does, like I said earlier, does have like a little toe joint. Nothing much, but it's nice to have a little toe joint always. And the foot does swivel all the way around from side to side. Looks good. So, what comes with this Majin Vegeta, you ask? Well, let me tell you. Actually, let me show you. This guy comes with some interchangeable hands. First up is this hand right here. He has one for the right and the left, like so. They look nice, sculpted well. Had no issues with mine, paint-wise. I think they're just molded in the white, so they don't really need to paint them. But yeah, the sculpt looks good. I had no complaints there. So the next pair of hands I have for you right here are these little claw looking hands. They're good for action poses, or you know, you could probably even shove a little action figure size gun in there. It look like they can hold a gun for the trigger and everything, but you know, as a DBZ, you don't really need guns for DBZ, but whatever. He also comes with this single hand only on the right German 3. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he used that hand to blast something at one point. So moving on to the faces, we get this smirking face. We also get this open mouth face, looking very maniacal and a little creepy, but yeah, like I said earlier, they're painted well. No problems with mine. Y'all look great. And this is his ultra mad face. He's very, very mad. Clench those teeth. Got veins on his forehead. Very, very mad. And his last face is actually identical to his first, besides one little vein on his top right forehead. That's about it. This is what it looks like when you take it off. Kind of scary. Yeah, very, very scary looking. Nightmare fuel. Let's throw one on there. Here you go. And that's about it. That's all you really get in the box. 4 extra faces, which is always nice, even though one's pretty much identical besides one vein pop. And a few hands. Very lackluster, but I could have, done with some particle effects or something. I know Majin Vegeta doesn't really have much than his jumper and some faces. There it is, folks. So for these final thoughts, I had a pretty good thought. I was like, hey, can this guy actually pose in his famous final finishing moves from the anime? Let's test this out. I mean, he's highly articulated. He should be able to get something down. Let's give it a shot. Okay, I mean, it looks alright. He doesn't come with a stand, so I couldn't put him up higher with his legs up in the air. But, nice try. So for this one, it's kind of easy. He just puts his hand out and just says... This one is also an easy one. I guess if they gave him the right hands to do it, that's basically all you really need. So another thing that popped in my head was, hey, how does he compare to his arch nemesis? Best friend, closest rival? Let's find out. So let's get Goku in here. Where are you, Goku? There you are. So what I found playing around with these guys on this video is that they do look really good together. This is an older style Goku. I haven't really picked up any new ones yet. I'm waiting for the new one with the new joints and whatnot. But I'm sure he's going to be the same height. And pretty much almost the same character besides some minor tweaks with the legs. But they do stand at good height with each other. Vegeta's known to be pretty small. Goku's like above average. Maybe not too crazy high, but they both have a good little stance right here. Vegeta has to look up to see him, and Goku has to look down, which is about right. But yeah, Figuarts is keeping all their figures in line with each other, so you shouldn't have any problems throwing this guy in your collection. Shit! Well, I guess that was bound to happen. So, there goes Goku. But here comes somebody else. Oh shit. The old style Vegeta. So I didn't realize how bad a head sculpt my original Vegeta was. He almost looks like an alien. They went with more of a skin-toned molding process for his face, just the plastic they use. But the sculpt is just not there at all. I couldn't really tell without, something that looks so right with this Majin Vegeta. But he looks like a totally different character. His face is too narrow. Just eye positioning is horrible. The hair looks good. I mean, you can really go wrong with the hair. He actually has better hair paint applications than the new one. But that face, oof. No thank you. Alright, but moving along, you could see the major changes from the old style to the new, especially in the crotch area. It just looks nicer than the new one, but function over form here. And I'm sure I'll get used to the new stuff. Out with the old, in with the new. But with the boots, actually they did a major overhaul. I mean, look at that. That is sad looking compared to the new one. And they still managed to get the toe joint in there, so good on you guys. Good on you. Now let's go way back. Who remembers these guys? The Irwin Toy Majin Vegeta right here. This is the only survivor of my collection because I really liked Majin Vegeta growing up. That's why I'm kind of doing the review today for you. So back in the day, you would get a couple of Dragon Balls and a collectible card for their card game. They let you know what saga you're getting into for this figure. The figures themselves, I thought they looked amazing at the time. The articulation wasn't there, details were. That face sculpt isn't, but I didn't know better. Like I said with the last Vegeta, you know, you don't know what you don't have until you see it. So when it's all said and done, I would say yes, pick this guy up. Yes, he does have some flaws, and yes, he does come with an accessory that doesn't seem like one, that identical face. But I really do like Majin Vegeta from the anime. It was my favorite part of Dragon Ball Z, and maybe yours. And he does a pretty darn good job of looking exactly like he was pulled right out of the anime. So, pick him up if you can. You won't be disappointed. Peace. Oh hey, you stuck around till the end of the video, and then some. Good on you guys. That's awesome. Or maybe you just skipped to the end, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I'm actually here to talk to you about future plans I have. So I've opened up a Patreon to see if you guys would like to donate to the channel. I'm actually not making any money off of this, which wasn't my intention. But it's fun to do, but it is expensive. Just the figure-wise, actually. I already have everything set up. But if I do get paid for them, I could pump them out faster. Or not maybe faster, but more consistently. And maybe I could set up something where I could raffle off the figures if I get enough people paying for the channel. So yeah, I'll leave a link in the description below if you feel like you can, or if you want to. Great. If not, it's okay too. I'm gonna keep making these things when I can. But thanks for listening. Have a good one.